Well, hello guys. Here we are back again. Welcome, workshop warriors, and thank you for your patience and getting this going for a second time. I apologize for the delay on Friday. We just had a lot of internet difficulties, but as you all know, this is going to tape, so if you don't make it tonight to watch it, you can watch it tomorrow. But I want to thank my son and daughter-in-law once again for all the trouble that they've gone to technically make this possible, and I really appreciate it, and I know you guys do too. So anyway, with that said, we'll get on with the show, so to speak. First of all, I want to also let everybody know that I'm going to dedicate this workshop to my mother, because she is responsible. Son is whimpering up over there. She is responsible for my attention to Enid Collins bags. As a matter of fact, I brought one along with me. This is one of her bags. It's not the best one, because the best ones I've got on display, but it's one of her little bags, one of her mini bags. And she had, I don't even know how many. She had over 100 bags, not all Enid Collins, but a lot of bags, and a lot of Enid Collins bags. So I kind of grew up with them, and it was kind of a natural thing to do, to do this workshop. So anyway, I just want to dedicate this to her and show you that little bag. And I think Patricia's got a couple of pictures of a collection. This is not my mother's collection, but this was someone else's collection of Enid Collins bags, and they had it all on their wall. Isn't that fun? And then the next slide is just a collection of doll. This is not mine again. I sold off the internet from somebody, but it's a collection of someone's Enid Collins purses for their dolls. So anyway, as you may recall, or maybe you don't recall, this is a repeat of this workshop. I did this, I think, in 2012. So I know there's a lot of people out there doing this now, and I don't want to claim the original idea, because there's there's no new ideas, but I did, and I brought this along, make sure I've got it set up right here. Do I have it upside down?
You got it good.
Okay, this is in that same year that I did the workshop for IFDC. I was approached by Doll Reader magazine. I know that the editor really well. She has published me a couple of times, but she said, I'm doing this special pattern book, and that's what this is. And so Patricia's going to kind of scroll through and show you some pictures from the inside. This is a pattern book. It's got more than just my doll, my patterns for this operation. It's also got some patterns for, I think, mostly Ellaline Wild. But anyway, just to show you that, it's not an original idea, but I think a lot more people are doing it now. But I don't know if this is still in print. You might be able to get it. It's on eBay or something. But it's an old Doll Reader pattern, and it was in 2012. So that said, we'll get on with it. First of all, I want to talk about what's in your kit. And of course, this is your list, your little picture, your instruction. I can't. Did I have it right?
Yeah, you had it right.
I had it right. Okay. It'll take me a minute to get organized on this, but you have got over here. There's a base, and so that's the size of the wooden. Let me pull a kit together here real quick so we can see it. Thought I had one maybe, but I guess here it is, right in front of me. Okay, so in your kit, you are going to have a pattern, and this is not just a pattern. This is actually the canvas that you're going to be working on, but you'll see on the back that it's got the pattern drawn on. you're going to have I've already got a pattern drawn on this. You're going to have a wooden piece of, and yours is not going to look like mine. This is from the original doll, this original workshop that I did back in 2012, because this is actually wooden pieces of board that I couldn't find anymore. So what I ended up doing for your workshop is I took balsa wood, and it was like 1/8 inch thick, and I cut it out and stacked 3 together. So that's what your little wooden purses look like, and it's just was just a big strip of balsa wood. So you're going to have the piece of wood for the box purse, and then you're going to have this one little chunk of wood here, and it's also a piece of balsa wood. That is actually your base, and the base is this part. So that's that. We'll talk about that in a minute. You are also going to have some toothpick. You're going to have a piece of cord. Everybody's is going to look different. This piece of cord, that's going to be the handle for the box purse. There's the toothpick. And very big assortment of jewels. Everybody's going to look different on their jewel packet. This one's, I can't get out, but it's, anyway, you'll see it. It's just a little collection of jewels. And you're also going to have, I think, 8 or 4 jump rings. That's for the handle. And you're also going to have some 1/4 inch ribbon in your kit. So that's just so you kind of have an idea of what's going to be in your kit when we get ready to go. If we were doing this live at convention, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do some things that I can do today. But I wanted to kind of go over with you and let you know how I created this canvas, because it's also the same way that I did my luggage patterns. And what it is just cardstock paper and fusible bond. And Trisha's got a picture of that on the fusible bond. I use this a lot, and it's the heavy duty fusible bond. And what it does is you iron it onto whatever surface you want to iron it onto. You take off the paper and then you fuse it to another item. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. So here's my cardstock, and then this is my fusible bond. So I'm going to take that and lay it on. This is handy dandy. If you don't have one of these in your doll maker, this is great. My roommate Peggy, thank you Peggy, brought one of these convention one year, and I couldn't wait to get home to get one, so just got it at Joann's. It's just a nice little iron. So we're just going to kind of fuse this on to the paper. Okay, get that out of the way.
While you're doing that, Beth Kensinger sends love and says, "You look wonderful."
I love you, Bethy. Thank you. Okay, so now that done, then I didn't get it all the way out to the edge, so I need to do that at least on one side. And if you've got comments or questions, Jack is moderating tonight for us, so he can throw that out at any kind of question you may have. Okay, let's see if I can get this off of here now. So once that cools a little bit, then you can actually peel back the, I need to iron it a little bit more. The iron is just not hot enough because it's not fusing. So you want to make sure the paper's, and of course when I'm doing this, I'm doing like a whole sheet at a time. Especially when I was doing, my kits, I have all my patterns drawn up on one big sheet of paper, and I just fuse the whole thing. Okay, so you take that, and then you can remove this paper to make sure it's cool enough. Remove the paper. Okay, I don't know if you can see or not, but there's just it leaves this little, well, it usually looks a little better than this, but you can see where it's left the more or less glue. And then, so that's on the back of this. So then you take the fabric that you'll want to use, lay it on top, and just so I don't get glue on my little iron I've got a piece of paper here to kind of, and then I'm gonna fuse. Oh, we got a little brighter. Thank you. You know, it's awesome. Okay, then I'm gonna fuse the fabric right onto sticking, because it's wanting to stick to the other fabric. You can see where the fusible bond was there. Go over this a little bit. I also do not use my little bitty iron to do this at home. I use my big Rowena to do this. And dry iron too I think it calls for a dry iron. So then you actually have your fabric attached to the cardstock. And at that point then I would go in and I'd take my pattern piece and I would draw it out. Onto my cardstock. And then you can do this along with me. You can kind of cut out, go ahead and get your pattern piece and you can cut out and I fuse it before I cut it because then you know it's exactly the right size. And you'll notice, and you can go ahead and start cutting out your pattern piece if you're working along with me, and you'll notice it has a slight curve, and that's because the barrel bags have a slight flare to them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And there, this, as you will notice, this is not my touch them and you die scissors. There's no red ribbon on them. Red stands for blood, right, Jack? Touch them and you die. And then you've got this handy dandy little, just kind of press it over, handy dandy little piece of fused fabric. And so what I would do next here is, well, I would actually, because I would do them in masses, I would do this before I cut it out, but be sure and seal this with my favorite Mod Podge. So just brush that on and a couple of coats. And the reason I do that, and it's definitely necessary for you to do, is because if you don't, when you put a pin to this, it's going to bleed. So you want to make sure you've got a surface that's sealed for that. Okay? So anyway, I want to also let Patricia kind of run through a little set of pictures of what we're making today. So, oh, there's our supplies too. Yeah, there's our supplies. And I posted this on the list so that you know what we're doing. And I'm using the tacky glue, and we've got colored pencils. The colored pens, or you can use colored pencils too. It's just the colored pencils wouldn't bleed as much as a colored pen would. And then there's just for anybody that doesn't have a kit, this will kind of help you out with what you would need to do this project. And also, if you're watching this, you can go back to the original reading on with the Doll Reader magazine, and it actually has all the instructions on making it. So you can kind of go to that part of the video, and you can stop it and read it, and then move to the next slide to read. So that'll kind of give you more information on that. So anyway, here's a little collection of some of the purses that I've done in the past, of the little barrel bags. They were fun to do, and most of these. And there, this next shot, that is actually with an Ella line. So this bag is not quite big enough for Ella line and the 16-inch or MSD ball and joint dolls, but if you wanted it to, it would kind of work. So that's that. So that's some barrel bags to kind of give you an idea. Because the next thing you're going to want to do is, and on the little your little instruction sheet that I gave you, there are some ideas of drawings of what you might want to do. And if these are too involved, it's okay. Do what you can. If you, I find that the flowers are the easiest, so that's what I'm going to draw on my wherever it is. There it is. Okay. I'm not going to use this one I just cut out because it's not sealed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out again. And if you're working along, go ahead and cut it out. Doodly-doodly-doo. Because the next thing that you do with this is to do all the decorations on the front of it. So I'm going to do, I'm going to do this because it's easy. And I don't know if I can do this upside down, so let me turn this around. But you can kind of get the idea. So I would draw in, like, move it up so you can kind of see. I would draw where I want the flowers. And remember, there's going to be a band across the top and the bottom of ribbons. So you want to drop it down a little bit. So I would just do a couple of flowers. A big flower here. Big flower here that's slightly lower. And a little bitty guy down here. They just kind of almost look like little clouds. And a little center. So if you start with the flowers, then you can just drop down the little stems. And then just do a couple of leaves. Can y'all see this? Maybe little bitty leaves. And then I've got some little grass at the bottom, but I'm just going to do that with my marker. So once you've got your design drawn on, then you want to use a permanent black Sharpie. You want to make sure you get the permanent and a very fine point. So it's the next thing you want to do. So then you can kind of go over your pencil lines. And if you can't go over them, that's okay too. You can always, if you decide you want to refine it a little bit, you can always erase those lines that you drew with your pencil. See, I made that guy kind of goofy. A couple of lines for the stem. A little circle. Another little circle. Stem. Okay, and then I would just do a little bit of grass, just kind of hatched in. So, it doesn't have to be anything really elaborate, just something simple. I'm a little bit off center here. I can see that by looking at it now. You want to try and center it as best you can. So then, after you've made your drawing, then I have all kinds of colors, artist colors, but these are literally about 15 years old, and they're by Pentel, and they work forever. I'm gonna turn this, I don't know, and they're made by Pentel, and they last a long time. I mean, you can see I'm even missing some. So I would say choose some really fun colors and color in. And you see how that's not bleeding? It's not bleeding because it's sealed. And if there's one important thing if you take away from this, if you're going to do something like this on your own, is to just make sure you use that Mod Podge to seal because otherwise it's going to bleed out everywhere. Let's do a big bright, pretty yellow here. And that yellow, I'm bragging about my pens, but I guess that is, yeah, it's coming off. Pretty yellow. The flowers are probably the easiest to draw. Let's see, let's do turquoise, solid turquoise. flowers without doing some purple. So we'll do a little purple one down here. And I'm going to color the insides of these purple too, just for the fun of it. Then next, I take, this is the brightest green that I have. The brighter green's the best, I think. And then I'm just going to color these stems. And this is not the bright green. I don't have a bright green, not with me. So this one's kind of dark. Just color in the lines. That's too bad. That's so dark. I should have looked at these. And just some grass. Okay. And then one fun thing that I did with going back to the fine tip is I kind of just do some like little happy lines, you know, like this little flower, see how happy he is? He's like got these little happy lines. And I just kind of draw that out. And this one's just got a couple of dots. So, put some dots here. So, you know, you can kind of embellish a little bit. Okay, looking for the lid. This would be a whole lot prettier if this were more of a lime green, but I obviously didn't have that. And then you want to go in and with your eraser, and you can erase any kind of weird lines that are your pencil is left behind that you don't want to see. Oops, I forgot a happy line up here. Forgot this happy line. Here it is. Okay. All right, so there's basically the drawing. And you know, don't fret about it. If you just want to put one flower, just do one flower. Just make it cute. You know, just and the more color the better too. So that brings us to the fun part of Enid Collins' bags, and that is embellishments. And I have several of these little trays. I don't think I put that on our list of good stuff, but I use these little trays for beads. I use them for little jewels. I use them for all kinds of little things, and they have this nice little corner, so if you put beads in here, you can just easily pour out into a little thing. So that's just kind of an equipment tip if you're interested in that kind of thing. So I'm going to take my jewels, which I can't find my little baggie, but oh, thank you, baby. Jack found them for me. And kind of drop in here. And like I say, everybody got something different. This is from an old kit that I had. Also, some of the kits had stickers. So don't think you can't use stickers. That's excellent. If you don't feel the need that you can draw, if you can find small enough stickers, use those. I think a lot, if not all of the kits have a really cute kind of little flower. And you can use it either on this or on your box purse. But don't use the sticker, use the glue. Glue it on instead of use the sticker, because it might not work as well. It won't stay on. So I'm not going to use any of these, but I am going to tell you about something else. I got these at the dollar store, but you can get them at nail salons too. And these are and at the dollar store they're in with the nail supplies, polish and that kind of thing. But they're teeny tiny jewels that manicurists used for to do nail embellishments or whatever. So this particular one's got some really cute. I prefer the round ones, but you know, there's all kinds of shapes, little teardrops and little diamonds and stuff like that. But I'm going to use these instead. So what I do is I take a little piece of paper and give myself a nice big blob of glue. Make sure I'm down here where you can see me. Let me get rid of this. And take my toothpick. there's also some tools that, and I think manicurists use. It's like some sort of a little, it says Gecko Kids, I don't know, but I got this when I ordered some jewels online once. And it's sort of a waxy little tip, and it will literally pick up a little jewel sometimes. I don't know if you can see, but see how it kind of grabbed onto that? So that's one thing you can use if you can use one or can find one of these. But I still prefer just a toothpick, good old-fashioned toothpick. So what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself a nice glob on the end of your toothpick, and anywhere you want to put a jewel, give yourself a little dot of glue. Like I want to do one on every little petal. Okay. And then I kind of wipe it off a little bit, so it's still sticky on the end, but it's not goopy. Pick up a stone and kind of just set it in the glue. And it may look a little messy, but the glue will dry, so you don't have to worry about it looking totally messy. So if you
reconnection successful. Okay.
We're good.
It says, we'll see. Yep, we're back.
Okay, sorry, I think our stream got broken, but Jack and Patricia got us back online. Okay, so I'm going to do this other flower real quick, and then I'll do the others later, but I'm going to twist this around so that I find another. If you see these at the dollar store, they're a bargain. If you do a whole lot of little jewelry for dolls or whatever, and when I see them, I buy a bunch. And I think I've got like about 6 of these little cases. Oh, I already got the glue on. Okay, I did that while you guys were out. So I'm going to put little purple stones. That's not me itching, that is the dog.
You flea monster.
Be the fleas. Okay. And you get the idea. The more blings, the merrier on this. I think that, that's just kind of an idea. I would put some, like, on these little dots out here and dot them around. So anyway, for now I'm going to leave this. I'm going to let that dry. And I want to go and talk about the construction now. Are we down again?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right, so go and find your little block of wood. And this is just a piece of balsa wood. And what we're going to do, in your kit, you should have a little piece of sandpaper too. I've got a big piece of sandpaper. And literally what we're going to do, get rid of this glue out of the way, is we're going to literally, because it's just balsa and it's very soft, we're going to sand this to the shape of this pattern. So the way I do it is I just kind of drag across and come up, and drag and come up. And see how that's already starting to curve the ends? Because that's the base that you're going to work around. So do that on all 4 corners. It's such soft wood that it just responds really easy and fast. Okay, see how that's starting to curve? And it may not be exactly like this, but this is, kind of the size that you want it. You just want it to be nice and rounded. Okay, so see, I've got one side done. Put that in the middle so you can see. See how it's kind of forming there? Let's do this side real quick. To not have any kind of edges. It's nice and curved. And now if you want to, you can also stain this wood with a marker, like a light brown marker or something, or you can just leave it normal. I'm just gonna leave it normal tonight, but you can always go back if you want it to look like stained wood, because the original purses were actually a wood base, so that's why I chose to use this wood. Okay, so that is that. So that's your little base, and that's how you create it with sandpaper. Very easy. And then let's go back to, I've got some little designs. I had one year I decided I was going to do some Valentine things, so I've got these. And I actually sent these to somebody. Ramona mailed them. I sent them to Ramona, and she mailed them back to me. Said, "I think I have your patterns, your other patterns." So, anyway, we're going to use this one. That one's almost done. So, I'm going to use it instead. And what you're going to want to do too, and you're going to have to make sure that this is dry before you do this. So you might not be able to work around with me, but you want to kind of get it to curl a little bit so that it's, you know, sort of flare it out and do some nice little things with it. Oh, I also wanted to show you too, and I don't think I put it on the, I did, and I'll show you in the end, I did some bags that had a little Vegas design on them too. So, but I'll show you in the end. I've got a purse made like that too, but I happen to think of that with this laying here. Okay, so kind of get this curling and move this guy out of the way. And going back, you know, I use these all the time, and I think we talked about them, my little safety pins, my little, not safety pins, but clothespins. And then these new devices that I found at Target, not at Target, but the dollar store. So get those ready. And then we're going to go to the glue. I love glue. You guys know I love glue. If it's glue, I like it. So, tacky glue. So what you want to do is, you want to first of all put the glue on one of the flat sides and the ends. You can kind of give it a second to kind of dry a little bit. Smooth it out. When I get glue on my hands, I find that all I have to do is just kind of rub it, and it rubs off into little crispy crunches. See, like some crunches everywhere? Okay, and then I don't have to worry about it getting on my project. So you want to make sure that you center this. Your front, this is the bottom. The curve is smiling upside down. Smile upside down. That's the bottom. And just sort of center it onto the front of your base. Give it a minute or so, or a few minutes, to sort of set a little bit. And then gradually, put a little more glue here. And gradually kind of work it around this little base. And you'll see what's coming. Put some on the back. Oh, I did. Put some on the back here too. And you'll see what's happening here is you're creating that little bit of flare. See how it sort of flares out a little bit? I'm going to move this a little bit. It's also a good time while the glue is still wet to kind of center it. You want to make sure you push around that real tight. Put a little bit over here. So you can kind of see how I've got that really pushed as tight as I can around that. I kind of remove the glue. And then I'm going to flip this over, let it up a minute, and then you're going to want to make sure you get a little bit of glue here on the back. So when you get this folded over, make sure your ends meet up. See how the ends are meeting up there? Then you can take your little, see my ends aren't meeting up exactly, but that's okay, you can fix that. Put your little clothespin. It's more important for this to be really tight and kind of flush with the bottom. So that needs just to be held a little bit while all this sort of dries. Okay. So that's what that's going to look like. So it has that little flare about it. So while that is drying, we're going to talk about the handles. And I've got this nice diagram here at the bottom of your instruction sheet. And Patricia's also got it big on the screen so you can kind of see it too. And I'm going to talk through it first with you, and then I've got some big ribbon I'm going to kind of demonstrate it. You've actually, this is one handle, and you've actually got 3 pieces of ribbon. You've got 2 little pieces on the end, and 2 jump rings, and then 1 long piece in the middle. So you can see how, okay, I'm going to go back to, I've done, I cut you, oh, I didn't even think about this being yellow and my thing being yellow. I think you can still see it though. But I got some nice big ribbon so I can demonstrate this. So what you're going to want to do is, get my little clippy clips out. Do a little piece of ribbon at the end with the jump ring. So it's going to look like that. Cut that off. Then you're going to do it the same thing again. Slip it through. A little bit of glue. Some clips. And then clip it off. And what we've just made are these 2 end pieces. You're going to do that 4 times because you've got 2 handles. So you got, each one of these is actually this. So then the next thing you want to do is take one end and of your ribbon, thread it through one of the little, this is the part that attaches to the purse, this part here. So you're going to attach that on, do the same thing, a little bit of glue here. Oops. Here's your clippies. So now we have this and this done. Okay, and then the next thing's a little more tricky because what you want to do is you want to make sure that the length of this for both handles are the same. So I think, let's see, what have I got? It's 2.5 inches long. So you want to take your other little handle hook, eyelet, jump ring. Make sure that you measure from the eyelet to eyelet the 2.5 inches. And then you can clip this, draw this up to make sure that, am I on the screen? To make sure that you've got 2.5 inches. Or if it's not 2.5 inches, you know, somewhere close, as long as they are the same is the main thing. So you're going to want to glue. That on. Like that. And let it dry. And that is one handle on a large scale made. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of real quickly, I should have probably done these in advance, but I'm going to just real quickly make some of these others because they can be drying while we work on the next project. This one is actually takes longer. The little square purse doesn't take any time at all, hardly. So. Okay. And if you need tweezers or some tools to help you with this, you know, sometimes they're helpful when you start working with these little bitty things. These are some really interesting tweezers. Of course, all my jump rings have decided that they want to all be collected together. So, see if I can get them apart. If not, we may just skip this. No, I can't get them apart. But in essence, you're going to make, again, 2 sets of these in your black ribbon. All right? So the next thing you want to do, while you've made those, you're going to let them dry. And the next thing you want to do is check on this guy again. He seems to be almost dry. And you can see how I didn't quite meet up there. Easy fix, just clip it off. Just even it out. We're not, you know, doing mad science here. See how it's got that nice oval? And it kind of mimics, but it gets wider. So, we're going to take our ribbon again. What we're going to do is the bottom. We're going to go around the bottom with our ribbon. And this is going to subscribe to the A Little Dot Does a Lot, okay? So you don't want to do a whole ton of glue here. Just enough. Thing is too, satin ribbon is not, doesn't really like to, it doesn't really like do well with glue. If you've got fabric tack, it'll probably be better to use fabric tack. I might try fabric tack on the top. So we're going to do, put a little bit of glue. You see, I'm not using much glue here, but enough to that it'll hold it. Take your ribbon, start at the back, and go right at the edge. Just wrap that ribbon all the way around. Just want to make sure it's right on the bottom, like that. And you're going to overlap it a little bit. Just that little bit. Okay. Oops, I moved that in the front. So it just gives you that nice finish. It looks like it actually has a little base to it. So that's the bottom. And then we're going to do the exact same thing around the top. So a little bit of glue. I don't know if you can, I guess you can see this. I've got a big shadow on it. Maybe we'll do it from this angle.
That's better.
Is it better? Yeah. I'm not shadowing myself. Okay. All right. So there's my glue. And again, I'm going to start in the back. And here's a spot that if you want to, you could use the little clothespins on this too, to kind of hold it in place while you're wrapping it. Glue on my fingers. Take a little, remove the glue break here. There we go. Okay. And again, easy peasy, just wrap it around. Get it as close to the surface. If you're off a little bit, you can kind of push it down while the glue is still wet. Do some adjusting. See, I got some glue on it, but it's okay. Alrighty. Clip off the excess and then tack it down. Okay. Mess down here a little bit. Shuffled. And that's the basic bag. And the only thing you have to do to finish it off, if you wanted to go over this with Mod Podge, it wouldn't hurt to kind of help seal those stones in place. But that's up to you if you want to do that. So then to finish your whole project off, you're going to take your handles, which should be dry now. And they're going to look like this. Another thing too is make sure that your flip overs are both on the back side. You know, where you've overlapped, because you want that to be on the inside of the purse. So I'm going to pretend that these are the small ribbon. And you're just going to take these tabs and glue them like this to the inside of the purse. Of course, it would only be a very small one. It wouldn't be this big old giant yellow one for my demonstration. And you want to make sure that the front and the back, one set meets are in the same places as the front. So if I do this set here, I want to make sure that the two sets line up, the two handles. And that's it, guys. It's not hard, and you know, and if you can't draw, then that's okay. Use stickers, use a little. Most people can draw a simple little flower anyway. But it's fairly easy, and we did this in class before, so and it went really well. And we all walked out with 2 bags, which is what we're going to do now. So that is that. Is there any questions? I know that some people said they had a hard time putting any kind of questions in the chat, and I don't know how many people we've got. Probably not many, since we were kind of on short notice. But
We got 4 folks online. Beth has been making some comments about how pretty everything is. Lisa just said she loves this. It's so creative. Thank you. And we have 4 folks following along on YouTube right now.
Awesome. That's fun. That's good. Okay, I want to.
Oh, Beth suggests maybe you could print it on a printer and transfer it. The patterns.
I do it as a, yeah, you could do that. And you know, and I think that if you want a PDF of this, and I might could talk Jack into making a PDF that I could email out. So I have another little thing I want to talk about just really, really quick. Because this is kind of a shout out to one of my doll buddies, Jeannie Mansour, who is just one of my doll buddies from forever. She made these beautiful, beautiful little purses, and they're actually one of my little prized possessions. They're so sweet, and she is so delicate with all of her little doll purses. Can you zoom in?
Down. There you go.
Okay. So I keep these out. This is like one of the things that I keep on my doll shelves. But I have a little story. And I'm not big on stories, and I don't like to listen to stories from YouTubers, but this is just too good. I had these on display, and, you know, my girls, I have 2 granddaughters, as most of you know. And they love dolls. Love, love, love dolls. Shh, hello.
No,
We
no.
wouldn't be right without a dog bark, right? Anyway, they love dolls, and you know, generally they're good, and they don't bother my display dolls. But and Evelyn, my youngest, had admired these. Oh, she was so in admiration of these little purses. And she was only about 3. And so one day she got really quiet, and I thought, what is she doing? And so she had her little doll, and she was sitting, and she had one of these on every single finger. And she was like dancing them around in front of her little dolls, having them make their selection. And I came in and, of course, had a gasp. Like, oh no, my beautiful, wonderful little genie doll purses. So anyway, I just wanted to share that and just show you, another take on from another artist on their beautiful little handbags. And hers are so diminutive and so beautiful. I love them. And I do prize them, and they are always on display. So anyway, wanted to share that little story and my little dear friend Jeannie's talent. What have I got? Oh, this is my baby. Are you on full? Let's see.
Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
Squat down, Elizabeth.
This is one of my babies, my big girl. Who's here? Elizabeth. And the kitty. Hey, kitty. I don't know where Evelyn's at. She's around here somewhere.
Evelyn.
She's the one that did the dancing purses.
Evelyn, come here.
She'll come in a second. No, maybe not. Okay, so
She's coming.
she's coming.
You gonna say hi?
You want to see
She's
if these
in-
purses still fit on your finger?
Do you remember playing with these? Come in here.
Come and squat down so they can see you.
This is my Evelyn. She's the one that did the dancing purses.
Do you remember those little purses?
Do you remember? You don't
No.
remember. You were only about 3, and I had to do a big.
Beth says, so tall.
I know, she's giant.
They are so big. Make them stop getting so darn big. Okay, so anyway, so that is barrel bags.
Okay, you ready for the box purses?
Yeah, so next we'll move on to box purses, which are easy peasy, fun and breezy, and not much trouble at all. Because what I've done, and I think I explained a little bit about the ones that you have in your kit are actually made of balsa wood. And I did seal them, I'm pretty sure, because I'm hell-bent on sealing stuff, but they're stacked pieces of balsa wood that I glued together and then cut out so they made a nice, gave me some good depth. So your purse won't look like this one, and it won't have holes drilled on the bottom. This was from the original workshop that I did in 2012. So all you have to do is take your little box and do your drawing on it. I drew the little kitty cat. I thought that was kind of fun. So again, same routine. Take your marker and draw well, first of all, draw it in pencil. Then draw it with your little marker. The outline with this kitty cat. I thought this cat was just so adorable. I'm getting a shadow over here. And this. And it probably won't draw as easy on the wood as it did the canvas. And I can't see that well because I'm trying to do the I'm in the middle. So draw with pencil first, then outline with your permanent marker. Give that a minute to dry. Then you can go in and erase your marks, your lines that you drew on. Make sure it's dry before you erase. You don't want to smear it. I think I've got all the lines off. And again, go in with your markers. I'm going to do turquoise. The wood makes the colors look a little darker, I think. So you might want to choose more pastel colors than I've got here. Find a pastel. Let's do pink. That little argyle kind of pattern there, kind of 60-ish. And then I might color the cat black, and then just like a little silhouette. So I wouldn't use my fine marker, but I didn't bring another marker. So this will have to do. It'll just take me a little while. Okay, now so I'm trying to keep from getting a shadow. I don't think I have that. This is black. Let me see. No, this is a dark brown. Let's use this dark brown. We'll go faster. It's going to look kind of black anyway, so we'll go with that.
Can you move it up just a little bit?
There you go.
Good job, Jack. That's why I hired you for this job. I don't pay very well, though, do I?
You playing dog and kitty sitting.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Okay. Okay, look at he's cute. All right. Looking for my lid. There it is. Oh, tail looks. That brown looks darker than the black. All right. So now again, go back to my little. My glue got stuck in with something else. Flip it over. A little fresh glue. And you know, the glue gets kind of sticky, so you want to use fresh glue whenever you can. Go back to your toothpick and kind of put the stones where you think they're going to be happy. This thing is kind of hard to move around. Remember, do the glue first. And it can be a bigger dot than you expect because, like I say, it dries. This wood might take a little heavier application of glue. I think I'll just sink all on both of those. Sometimes you have to kind of fight these guys to lay the right direction. Okay, and then I'm going to use a couple of, let's see if I've got any. Oh, perfect. In this little container, I've got some little almond shaped. I'm going to put those as the cat eyes. So a little dot on each eye. Isn't that cute? Don't do it upside down.
There you go.
Yeah. Now I would also add some more sequins here, hither and yon, and also I like, and some little happy marks too are fun too. Should we put some happy marks? Right in the glue.
Oh no.
Okay. So we do a happy mark, happy mark, happy mark, happy mark. And a couple little dots. Little dots here and there. So, and you know, I would probably add some more stones to it, but you get the idea. Like I say, the more bling, the merrier. You know, you can add more or take away. And if you wanted to make your cat's eyes white and then put a orange stone in the middle, that would be cute too. So anyway, so that's, you know, basically the same thing you did with the other, with the barrel bag. This guy said doesn't dry in the wrong place. And then in your kit, you have got a couple of eyelets. They look like this. They're just kind of the eyelets that you use when you're going to do lace-ups and stuff. These are, I think, 1/4 inch. And I can't remember. I think I did the holes in yours. I can't remember now. It's been so long since I put these kits together. But put a little dab of glue in each hole. And if you don't have a hole, it's just balsa wood. So just take, you know, a little bit of, you know, a pin or something and just push a hole. So I'm going to kind of thread this on with my toothpick. So I got it on my toothpick. I'm going to stick the toothpick in the hole. And then that just kind of threads it down. This is not fitting. Okay. Well, like I said, this is one of my old kits that I had to dig out. Somebody called me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Do you have any more kits?" So I actually gave away the kits that I was going to use for the demonstration. So this is, anyway, they don't fit in this one because these have to be drilled with a drill. But you want to put these rivets into these holes, and then you take your cord and again put a little glue on either end and just go down into your little holes. And then you got your handle. So, and originally, the original classes that I did, I put some little tiny feet, which are not in your kit. I didn't include those because we weren't doing it this time, but what they are just if you want to add these later.
You can kind of see the feet in the pictures and show these.
Okay. And Patricia's showing you the different box bags that ideas. Okay, and so these are teeny tiny little brads that you get. Can you see them? There they are. That you can get at the scrapbook stores. And if you cut the little brad part off, then you can just kind of glue them in these little holes, and it creates like a little like little feet for your purse. And you know, the reason I wanted to do, you could do this with anything. You could paint it before you do this, or you could do it with other products other than wood. But I was trying to stay true to the Enid Collins purses, which are wood. They're all wood. So that's why I chose to the wood. So also, let me show you just how nifty this little deal is. Isn't that slick? If you don't have these, get one. They are fun, fun, fun. So I wanted to also, as a bonus, because we weren't able to do our workshop on Friday night, I thought, well, I'm just going to be kind of productive, and I wanted to just kind of give you guys a bonus idea. So, if you had any of your, back from the our Tiki workshop, I'm having stumbling on my words tonight, I'm sorry. If you had any paper left over from your Tiki workshop, you might consider making, like, I'll pull these up so you can see a little better. Can you see them? These are just, all this is foam core. And I cut them to size 2 layers are on here. And I just painted the back. This one I put some cord around the outside edges. I glued on the paper. This was the flamingo paper that I looked over, and just glued some stones on. So that's kind of a little bonus. But, so I had already done these, and I kind of embellished them a little bit. But so then I thought, oh my gosh, I have all this time, Friday night on my hands, so I made a bunch of stuff. I made some more. I am going to, in October, I'm going to the Ball and Joint Doll Convention in Austin. And so I thought, well, this would be nice table gifts, or maybe they'll be nice just to sell, because I'm going to do some selling. And by the way, shout out to Darlene Owen. She's going to be my roommate. So anyway, so what these are, and I made them, they're big, because they're made for like a big 16-inch doll, or a ball and joint, or maybe your Eloines and stuff. And it's the same thing. All it is the cord board. And the cord board,
I like that one. Put that
this
one
little
on the shelf.
eyeball. These have not been embellished yet. I just kind of made them. See, there's one's got little. I love the kitty cats too. But this is the size. They're 2.5 by 1.5, and they're actually 3 stacks together to get that bigger doll size. If you wanted to do something smaller, you would just do the 2-inch. But all this is scrapbook paper, and the scrapbook paper is just. You just wrap it around as like you're doing a gift package. And, you know, the thing that I did find out as I was doing this, that I found it's going to be a little more difficult to embellish. So I made a couple of brown ones, because I've got I have a lot of little diddly-dats of embellishments. But anyway, that's where these are, and they'll have little handles. But I thought they turned out really cute. So that's kind of a little bonus. And I did these with a glue stick. You know, rather than using real glue, just the Elmer's glue sticks. And I just kind of cut and fit and folded it just like I was doing a gift basket. A gift box. So that was my bonus for the evening. Let me get these all picked up just real quick.
Beth says she likes the kitty one, so you may have to set that one aside for her.
Yeah, I was going to demonstrate. I've got some more of that paper. I was going to demonstrate that, but I don't think you need to see that demonstrated. Okay, also I want to also show you, before the night is out, I did these. These are some, and I did these to sell.
Bring them down there a little.
Bring them down.
Yeah, there you go.
There we are. Okay. And I think Patricia's got some close-up pictures of them. I did these to sell at convention. One is the Stardust. It's kind of the replica of the Stardust sign. And for all of us that, you know, are original OGs to IFDC, we recognize that. So that's why I did the Stardust, because it was our commemorative Stardust year. And the other is just a Las Vegas sign. So I do have some of these, and if you're interested in buying one, just let me know. You know, just PM me or text me or whatever, because I have several, and they're available to purchase if you want them. Not that this is a sales thing. I just have them, and you know they're just sitting here, so they're available for purchase if you want them. And also, on one last note, is that.
Do you want to do this one too?
Yes, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So one last note is that Deanne Richard contacted me and asked me if I would come and do a workshop for their doll group in Dallas. So at the end of August, if you're in Dallas and are interested in this, I'm going to do my luggage workshop. And for a group of, I think John is going to be there, and Deanne, whoever's in that doll group. So if you want to contact her, she probably has room. I don't know. I might be speaking out of turn. I don't know. But that luggage has been my most requested workshop ever. So, and actually, if you go to my YouTube, I do have instructions that I put on many moons ago. It's just a kind of rudimentary and kind of silly, but it's there. So that all being said, I think that I can bring this workshop to a close. I really appreciate the attention, the chance to do this for you guys, to use those kits up that were just sitting in a box doing nothing, and to bring a little of IFDC flavor to us, since we're all going to miss it so much. And a quick thank you again to Jim for all the years of fun. And gosh, I miss all you guys, and it's so funny because everything is coming up in my Facebook feed now, all the pictures of all IFDC, and it kind of makes me whimper a little bit. But anyway, our fun times are over for that, so we have to move on to other things, and that's what we're all doing, I'm sure. So anyway, thanks again to my babies, Patricia and Jack, for doing all of this, tearing their whole house up to provide us with a little entertainment tonight. So anyway, and keep in mind too that this is recording, so if you weren't able to see it live, it'll be on my YouTube channel. So I think that'll do it, and thanks for coming, and sure was enjoyable. Bye guys.